Brad, I really need to talk to you about my professor in my English course. I have a 10-page paper due and I've been working on it and I'm stuck, and I emailed the professor 3 times already. The draft is due this Sunday and I don't know what I'm supposed to do about it, and he won't return my messages. And so I'm going to get a failing grade because he's not responding to me.
It sounds like you just need to reach out to your professor again. Like, why don't you think he's been reaching out? That's ridiculous. But he should have absolutely been reached out by now. That's so stupid.
I did. I messaged him.
You just need to reach out again. All right. That's what needs to happen here. Okay. Ooh, Tina, that sounds like a rough place to be right now. Okay, so your professor, you've reached out to your professor 3 times, you said? Your paper's due on Sunday, right? Am I correct about that? Okay, and so you're worried about failing because you can't get a hold of your professor. Yeah, that sounds tough. Did I get all those details right?
Yeah, it's just, I've been reaching out a bunch, and I need him to answer my question before I can move forward on the rest of my paper, and he's not responding, and I don't know what to do.
Okay, so you have no response from him. You need him to respond to you before you can move forward. Okay, listen, hey, as your coach, it's my job to help figure out what to do in situations like this. Let me just ask you a couple more questions just about just what you've messaged him so far, just to find out exactly what's been going on between the two of you so far, okay? Okay, Tina, now that I have a clear picture of this, it sounds to me like you need to reach out one more time. If you don't hear from him by tonight, then will you email me tomorrow, and then we'll come up with another plan, okay?
Yeah, that makes sense to me. I'll try again just in case it got buried or lost somewhere, and then I'll connect with you to follow up on how I move forward for my paper.
Tina, so I wanted to talk to you today because work has become so heavy. A bunch of people have quit. And so now as the manager, I am working extra hours. Like I'm working probably 50 hours a week, and it looks like it's going to be at least 50 to 60 hours for the upcoming probably 3 months. So I just don't see how school's going to fit in. And I know that like we just started the term and I'm only a couple weeks in. It just doesn't seem doable to do my work schedule. And I have to, like, I'm the manager, you know? So I just don't think it can work.
Well, Brad, did you know this was coming when you started classes 3 weeks ago?
I didn't know about the layoffs. No.
Well, I do have many students who work 50 hours a week and still do school. So if you want to reach graduation, you're going to have to stay in school. Brad, first off, let me thank you for sharing that with me. It sounds like this is something that you've been thinking about a lot already, and you're wanting to talk about what you can do in this scenario with your work increasing, but also the term already started in this process. So tell me a little bit more about what you've been thinking about.
Well, I think it's a waste of money. Like, I don't want to go to school and fail, right? But I can't do school well and also work 50 to 60 hours a week. I also can't lose this job. Like, I need this job, right? So I think taking the term off makes sense for me.
Yeah. It sounds to me like you're in a difficult place with both scenarios, right? You want to be successful in school, and that's why you were balancing work in, but then work is also important to you. You have bills to pay, and you want to make sure that you can keep your job in this circumstance too, even though things changed for you. Is that right?
Right. That's exactly right. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, Brad, as your coach, I am here to support you in this process. And it sounds like you have a hard decision that you're making about school and how you're balancing work and school together. My role is not to keep you in school at all cost. Sometimes it makes sense for students to take a break and come back when it makes sense. But I want to make sure that you're making an intentional decision about how you move forward now that you know more about your work scenario and what it takes to be a student after 3 weeks. You've experienced that. So let's talk a little bit more about the details and see if we can figure out what makes sense for you in this situation. So Brad, after we talked about this a little bit more, it sounds like you want to more fully understand what's going to go on in the work situation with the changes. And so your next step is to talk to your manager and find out what kind of expectations around your time is going to be required in this transition state. And then you are going to take that information in to make a decision about what is going to be expected of you in school and how you can balance those together. Is that right?
Yeah, that sounds great. Thank you.
Brad, I just really don't know what to do. I'm working so hard on all my classes, but the workload is too much. My professors don't seem to understand that I'm not just in their class. I have 4 other classes I'm taking, and I don't know how they expect me to do the papers and the homework and study for the test and do well in class. I can't do it. I'm staying up all night, studying, getting no sleep, and I not eating, not taking care of myself. And I don't know what else to do. And I'm getting C's in my classes. I don't know if I can do this anymore.
Yeah. Wow. I went through something really similar when I was a student. So I had all sorts of anxiety, and I was taking 22 credits. And at the same time, I was also a single parent, and there was so much going on then. And then during that same time, my mother actually came down with this really strange illness. So it was so weird for me. And so, do you know what? Let me tell you what I did there. Wow, Tina, that sounds like a whole lot. Your workload is heavy. You've got, from what you're describing, sounds to me like some anxiety, some stress that's now affecting your health, your wellness. Am I right about that?
Yeah, I just don't know how people do it and are in school and work and do all of the things. I'm trying everything I know how to, and I just can't make it work.
Oh, that sounds so heavy, Tina. I'm so sorry that this has been such a frustrating time for you. That you're not the only student to go through this. That's for sure. Listen, it's part of my job here is to make sure that you are feeling fully supported, that we're finding resources or anything we can to help you out. Can I ask you just a couple more questions? I just want to get a fuller picture of how you're feeling right now and what this is looking like for you. Can I ask you a couple more questions?
Yeah.
Tina, thanks so much for telling me all about this. I know this has been such a heavy time. Sounds like a good next step for you is to get connected with the health center here on campus. And so you're going to go down there on Wednesday. You're going to have your appointment at 2:00 with the nurse practitioner, Sandy. So that's where we're going to start. I want to hear from you after that to see how things are going. All right. I want to make sure you're feeling fully supported through all this, Tina. We gotcha.
Great. Thank you.
So I just don't think that this program it's just not what I'm interested in anymore. Like, I started in this art history thing thinking that's what I wanted. I don't know. I think it's boring. And so I don't think I'm going to continue on with this program. It is not what I wanted at all. Yeah, it's boring. Ugh.
Let's figure out a way that you can make this more entertaining for yourself. Are there games you could play with your professors and track words that they say, or something to entertain you? Maybe you just draw in your course. Maybe that's what you do, and you just do your own art while you're going through the course, just so you can stick with the program. That actually sounds like it'll work for you. Why don't you try that? So, Brad, what I'm hearing happening is that you were interested in this program before, and now you're not seeing that it aligns with your interests and how you want to move forward. Is that right?
Yeah, that's how it feels.
Okay. And it sounds like this is something you've been thinking about a lot, and it's a good thing that you are concerned about the program and where it's going to take you, because that matters to the life that you create after graduation.
I do want to finish. I just don't want to finish in this. You know what I mean? Yuck.
Yeah. So it sounds like you understand that you want your degree and you want to move forward, but that this program in particular has lost your interest, right?
Yeah.
So my role as your coach is to support you in really thinking about your decisions as you move forward in the program. And I can share a little bit more about what your options are in this scenario, but I want to make sure that whatever you choose to do is something that's going to meet you and the long-term goal that you've set out for yourself. So can I ask you some more questions to make sure that we're thinking about your future and what makes sense right now? So Brad, it sounds to me like your next step is to talk to your advisor to find out more about your program and your options that will keep you on a path towards completing your degree, but hopefully spark your interest more than this program is right now. Is that right?
Yeah.
Brad, I want to talk to you about my chemistry course. I tried to drop it and it says that I can't drop it and that I'm going to get charged for the class, even though I'm failing the class. And I was told that I could still drop the course and that I wouldn't get a failing grade, but now I'm going to be charged for the class and I don't understand what's happening here. All I want to do is drop the class so that I can take it in the future and not have a failing grade on my transcript.
Well, it's your responsibility to understand that there's drop and add dates, and you've missed it on this one, Tina. So that the policy will stand. You cannot drop the course.
But I didn't know about that beforehand.
Well, that's your responsibility, Tina. You need to make sure that you've read the handbook. Every student is responsible for reading that handbook before. So that's something that you should have known. Okay, so you would like to drop your chemistry course. You're running into the deadlines with the add and drop dates is what I'm hearing. And that sounds really frustrating. I totally get that. Listen, I want to figure out all this stuff right now. So let me just find out a little bit more about what's going on here and what you're trying to do, okay? Okay, Tina, now that I understand a little bit more about what's going on, the policy will still stand. We've missed the add drop date here, so you're still going to get charged for that course. Now, here's what the next step, I think the next step that you should take here is to go talk to your professor. And I'll even go with you if you want. We can go figure out what to do to get you through this course.